Okay, good morning everyone. For all of you watching, welcome to Kembali 2020 Rebuild Bali Festival. It's a digital program designed to inspire you, to excite you, just in case you're bored in the middle of this pandemic. And sadly, we cannot meet each other face to face, but thanks to this festival, we get to meet each other in our little small screen. So be sure to check the festival's program up to 8 November. And if you're feeling inspired and excited, don't forget to, just a little contribution to the festival because of this festival, we get to, talk to our favorite authors, talk to these amazing girls like Ayunda and Kintan. And I hope that you guys enjoy the talk today. And if you like it, don't forget to share and retweet, repost, and everything. And and be sure to watch your favorite authors. Also, hi, Ayunda. How are you guys?
Hello.
Hello.
Very good.
So, how are you all? How are you surviving and thriving these days?
For me, if I
Yeah.
can start, of course.
Yeah, I can done.
Hi, Lisa. I think it's been okay. Luckily, the work that for me can be brought to home. So yeah, probably just trying to fight the cabin fever. That's what people said. So yeah, that's from me.
And how about you, Ayunda? So Kintan is in Ubud currently. Ayunda is in Jogja. Yeah, how's Yogyakarta doing, Ayunda?
Yeah, it's been great. People still adapting though, because Jogja is, I guess, like Ubud, still transforming from how we're getting COVID-19's friendly environment for during this holiday seasons and usually during weekends, but most of the time for work, we're moving work to home. So we're doing remotely. Everyone in the office back to their home, and even our office is currently closed. So yeah, it's quite a big movement in terms of all the preparation for transforming a city that used to be so alive with people coming in for holiday, for going to places they want to see here, but then we have to stop it all and trying to make it COVID-19 friendly, pandemic friendly for everyone. Yeah,
And that
from
also
Jogja.
fits with your work, yeah, because now we get to go to the office. We don't get to have office fight or office gossips. Everyone multiple Zoom session, Google Meet, and
Yes.
I want to give a short introduction for our speakers right now. I have Ayunda Zikina with me and Kintan Ayunda. Both are fabulous ladies from the start, immensely in the arena of ecosystem, and Ayunda in Niaga Hoster. So both of the things that we really need, not only to survive and thrive specifically when it comes to access. So I feel like that will be kind of the highlight of today's talk, having access in the midst of pandemic, access of internet, and access of informations to connect to each other. I would like to start with Kintan. So Kintan, can you give us just a little bit of, short introduction about yourself and what's the current exciting thing you're working on right now?
Sure. So first of all, hello everyone. Thank you so much for having me in this very exciting session. My name is Kintan, and I'm a program designer in an impact and innovation company that's called Secamuse. And a little bit about what I do, I basically create programs as a part of our main activities. So our company itself is built. We're trying to build resilient economies by supporting entrepreneurs and also the ecosystem of the entrepreneurship. And so we do this by designing, developing, and implementing a mix of innovation programming and investing capital. So what I'm doing is the designing part to design the type of activities, the innovation programming like accelerator or incubation or hackathon, stuff like that. And so far, the sector that we're trying to focus on is the sector of circular economy, and the exciting project that I am working on is connecting with the waste sector community in East Java. So we've been doing a lot of like accelerator programs with waste banks, with the startups over there as well. And yeah, it's gonna be going on for the next couple of years. So yeah.
Okay, so we have Kintan as the person of action here. She plans all the things, and there's a lot of startup keywords over there that I like everyone to take note, because startup itself is just this, sometimes it's a mysterious world to me, because there's so many progress and changes and updates every day. We can never possibly, we can never keep up unless you have access to internet. So I like to welcome Ayunda Zikrina from Niaga Hoster. Ayunda, so tell me, what's up in the world of internet these days? Is there anything new that you can tell us?
Yeah, so basically my company is not an internet service provider, so we're posting a service, and we're currently working on helping SMEs to turn their business digital, because they're the most impacted sector during this pandemic, because they have usually they work on their offline stores, and then they need to move digitally to survive this pandemic situation. So yeah, we're working on with the government, local government as well, to help SMEs have access to go digital with their business, so they can survive and thrive during this pandemic. And other than that, we're still focusing on other sectors as well, helping the startups and many kinds of maybe organizations, be it a non-profit and profitable organizations, to have their digital assets using website, and to reach more people, to bring more impact to many more people around Indonesia and world. So yeah, I guess internet enabled us to do that through websites. I mean, during this digital transformation era, it's really a great opportunity for business to go digital, and to just that's the key for future reference as well. To the world is getting digital all over the place, so business just can't stop innovating through digital.
All right, so with the pandemic, right, it seems our world is somehow getting smaller, because in a way we can talk to people everywhere. At the same time, we cannot talk to people everywhere. And as, let's say, as a newbie in the startup scene, sometimes you don't know where you get information and you make a wrong move. I want to ask this just one thing from the perspective of someone, I think a startup dummy. What is the first step that we have to, search for in terms of information before we start putting our brand online for people to see? If I may start with Kintan, because you've probably met so many people that ask you these questions. Yeah.
Sure. I think that's a great question, which for startup dummies, as the term, you need to take a step back and to see first, I think, from your product, for example, or the service that you're offering to the community, for example. Is the product is solutive to these people, and maybe you want to know very well about your target audience or your target market. And yeah, I think because, you know, a lot of products or startups out there that is surviving until, you know, unicorn or like Series A funding and stuff like that is there because they are, instead of like just become a product that is existing, they're actually a solution to a problem for the people of their targeting, for the, say, people in Bali, say people in Yogyakarta. So yeah, I think do, if you wanna, I think from my observation, you really need to know your market well, what they need. Is your idea match with the problem, the existing problem out there, or your ideas is just a fun ideas that need a little tweak to be matched with the problem that existing. So yeah.
From what she said, if I can just simplify a bit, so identify the brand's focus, the service, and know your target audience, and just get to know your market well. If I can ask you, Ayunda, because we all want to rush to put our brands out there. I want to make this professional, colorful, crazy motion graphic website, but can you tell us what is the common mistake usually people make when they have their first website? Because there's usually just a common mistake like we all commit because we're just so excited to get our brands out there.
Yeah. Okay. It's knowing you're saying that people are excited to have their own website. It's kind of interesting because in the fact that I encounter every day, it's people are still scared to have a website because they thought it's going to be difficult because they're still thinking about building a website starting from coding and everything, and it's so technical, right? So no, but that's the knowledge that my company wants to shift because no, nowadays website is it's as easy as you post on your social media accounts. So yeah, we're start from there, and then we're talking about what will be the what usually is the common mistakes or common misconceptions of people's first website. It's usually about how they can optimize their website to the fullest to make the impact greater, because sometimes they just own the website and then they don't know what content they have to make and how to improve the performance of the website. Say like there's the speed performance, because you know we hate late response website because 5 seconds away and then you just close the window, right? So yeah, the common mistake was people just say that okay, I want to own the website, and then it's just, and okay, there you go, there's your website, and then they just okay, that they think that's enough. But no, you just have to work on it, make the content available so people can search through the search engine, and then they will find your website, and then they will get the impact from your website. So yeah, that's the common misconceptions that okay, having website is the end of the journey. No, it's the beginning of a new journey to just start and then make your own content, make your voices heard, make your business get known through a website and everything.
All of you guys are watching this, if you're kind of scared and anxious about making your first brand's website, you know what, go contact Ayunda and she'll give you all the tools. And
I'll be glad to help.
Yeah, because this word startup, specifically now in times of pandemic, I hear this words like I hear ABC. I hear it every day. Like, oh, what are you up to? Oh, I'm trying to start this startup, because I think back then, probably like 8 years ago, people don't use this word as much. They just say, oh, I want to start a business, right? Sometimes I thought a startup is just mainly a tech startup, you have to somehow involve, anything tech. And I just found out that it's not actually. So I want to ask Gintan, how does the definition of startup kind of change in your perspective because of pandemic? Is it actually faltering because of pandemic?
Well, I think first of all, startup. There's a lot of people that, as you said, Lisa, you hear startup, but what does that mean? But a lot of people always, and I think stuff that I see commonly in Indonesia is people always relate startup and technology. But the truth is, startup is the stage of business. It's a so like say if you have business that's going on for 1 year, then you have a startup. And I think during the pandemic, the definition itself might not be changed because a lot of people start their business as well. But probably the content, what I am very interested to explain as well, that startup is not always tech. It could be like food, but then the business grows. It could be like any sector, not only like lifestyle that involve apps or involve website. It's tools basically. So during the pandemic, the definition itself, I think it's not changing at all. But I think the product itself, that a lot of people now make product to think about, from there is a problem and I want this product to be the solution. And so far in the past, when the startup word booming and around Southeast Asia around like 10 years back, a lot of people just like, let's just like do this like in quote sexy thing about like very savvy tech app, whatever that actually is not solving any problem. But right now I think a lot of people come up with ideas that that they want to help people around them, which is amazing. And I think that's where resilience of the business could survive. So, yeah.
Resiliency and persistency, no matter what, right? Keep moving forward. And in terms of trying to move forward, what do you think, Ayunda? Because you probably met a lot of people trying to tweak their website or their access of website, trying to make it, stand out. But because of TikTok, let's say TikTok, I think a lot of business owners or brand owners feel like maybe I don't need a website per se. I don't need it because people will eventually ask me, where can I reach you the quickest? I can just reach you. I can just slid into your DM. So what do you have to say about that? Because now it feels like when you want to make a website, it feels like sometimes you have to get your bullet points together. If you create a website, that means you're done, right? Like what you mentioned earlier. Is it always that way, or should it be just back then like a click of a button when we used to have Blogspot, when the first time Blogspot first appeared? Is it just the same attitude, do you think?
Yeah, so that's the thing that I keep encouraging people to understand, that it's not about which one is better, website or social media, or when people have business, they have their store on marketplace, things like that. It's not about which one is the most important, because the three of them can actually be used together to just enhance more exposure, to get more to boost your business better, because it's just a matter of channels. If you want people to know, you have to understand about the way people do their search right now, right? People go through search on social media. It'll be tricky because like if you use Instagram, you cannot look for a specific keyword unless you use a hashtag. And then when people just do it through, like, if you Google it, like Google turns into a verb right now, I guess. It's not just about a verb or noun. So when you just Google things, you simply Google through using some keywords for the things that you want to like. Like when I visit Ubud, maybe what will be the restaurant that I should visit? I'm looking for reviews. I'm looking for informations through where? Google. So when you just don't have website, Google can't find you. So then people can find you. So that's about the channel. When people just if you are very sure about people know you from your, let's say, Instagram handle, then you can just go with it. Go with Instagram, like, and but during pandemic, actually, we tried to simplify this because it's quite a big hit for the SMEs to go digital, and we cannot force them right away to go through, like, okay, you need website. No, it's a big shock for them. And no, so what we did in my company and my effort outside, it would be as simple as maybe just go use your WhatsApp or use your social media. Start there first. You just start where you can. So you can strive first during this hard time for everyone. So be reachable. At least you are going digital. People can reach you through WhatsApp, and then you can they can order your food, order your fashion if you just do fashion business and everything. And so the shift to digital is quite dilemmatic for everyone, but now during pandemic it's kind of like enforced to be you have to go digital. If you don't, you just don't strive. So we don't encourage people to just like go on a website because it's quite maybe quite a difficult journey for them. So we start small, like when they're ready, go have a website. But when they don't, start at least make people make you reachable for other people to see what you're doing, not just for the business, but also for whatever effort, maybe any organization, non-profit organizational stuff that they're doing to help other people, so they can reach out to more people to give them help they need. So use it wisely and choose which one that you actually can do. Just there's no better, there's no best, just use based on what you need. And in terms of coverage, you just how do you want people to reach you out? Through Google? Go use website, because Google can't read social media. And then if you want to use, you're proud enough with your social media, go use social media. If you're maybe still a bit hard because social media needs contents, and maybe you cannot provide specific contents every day or every week or that constant, go simply use WhatsApp, and you can use the stories. It's quite more simple and a bit doable, other than creating creative content every day on Instagram. It's quite tricky for SMEs to do. That way.
And speaking of the challenges, the struggles that you talk about, specifically with the SME, the one that I know, for example, in North Sumatra, a lot of them are actually from the older generation. So I feel like information and language is a privilege, right? And with the world of startup, if you want to access the right information, most of them are in English. So we have people from rural areas that don't necessarily have the access to those. So if you can give just a bit of like a simple information of how you can motivate them to actually migrate their business online, especially you probably meet a lot of different kind of layers of people. How would you motivate them? Because I feel like it's important, because information is everywhere, right? You can access on Google, like basically whatever we talk about right now, it's pretty much accessible on the internet. But the positive affirmations to it all, to make the information, you know, easily understood. Like, what would you tell them so they don't go, oh my God, what is this digital world? Like, is it a Pandora box? What am I getting myself into? Specifically in the sectors of the SME. How about you, Kintan, start?
As for me, I think what you, sorry, I try to understand the question. So
Yeah.
the people who wants to do business, how you get encouraged to find information, is that
Yeah,
correct?
specifically in the sectors of the SME, because not all of them can actually afford that huge investment to go digital, right? Like what
Yeah.
Ayunda mentioned just now. Like, what would you say to kind of ease their burden or ease their confusion? Because I feel like it's also as important.
I think the sources is so many out there, right? And you don't have to go to internet or sign up to like this millions rupiah worth of course. But you can, as simple as contacting the people through your network, for example, like you can just go to people and ask for advice, say like, hey, I'm curious about this. Do you want to grab coffee, for example? And from conversation, I feel like that's a more valuable source because, you know, like with, as Ayunda said, Google with the SEO and everything, at this point, it feels like it's, you know, the information is not going to be as deep as you dig from someone who has done it. So I think to just what I would say to the, for example, founder or people who wants to start business, put yourself out there. Don't be shy to say hi to people because network when you're building your business is very, very crucial. It's very, very important. And I had this in my work. We always try to involve experts, and so we constantly reaching out to people. And when I started the work, there was like a hesitant inside me that saying like, oh, but you know they're very busy, which is also probably a thought that kind of like holding back people to reach out to other people. But to be honest, there's so many nice people there. You'll be surprised, really. So I think at the end of the day, you should just like go out and look around. Doesn't need to be like, oh, I want to talk to like the CEO of Google. It's okay, of course, that's really, really unreachable, right? Unless you have the connection. But just as simple as, yeah, look around to your circle, for example, and ask. And even if you don't have anyone who doing it in your circle, maybe you can ask within your circle, hey, do you know anyone who do this? Do you know anyone who is good in marketing that I can ask about? And yeah, I think that's the most effective way. And of course, fun because you're connecting with people, especially with pandemic, right? Like you're probably almost near to cabin fever, surviving, and then of course connecting with new people is refreshing. You can do it through Zoom, or you can as simple as doing WhatsApp. And I think because as well, people are more open right now because yeah, pandemic. I think it's a kind of blessing in disguise.
If I may ask both of you, aside from, you know, the obvious struggles like the whole cabin fever vibe, we cannot meet each other, what has been your main struggles in the midst of this, you know, climate? How are you guys dealing with sudden changes of working flow? How are you guys doing? How are you?
Okay.
Okay, so it's actually it was actually for me remote work is not that we used to do it before pandemic, but right now it's kind of enforced to do, right? when you just enforced to do something that you just actually don't really want, it's just it takes adjustment. So actually for the first couple of months, it feels good to just knowing what the chaotic unknown in the outside world. You just cocoon in your house, and then kind of you're encouraged the safety feeling inside, and then you still work, and it's just something we're still grateful of. Like, we're still okay. It's actually from kind of job security, we are quite secure, but so we are at home. And then that's for the first like 2 months, 2 months, and then the third month come the boredom. So and there the struggle starts there. And I personally changed my workstation a couple of times. So like because it just I need to find my where should I go to kind of enlighten the mood, to get the motivation right, to get work every day, every morning. So kind of a tips from me, like just kind of put yourself in a place where you gotta have to work. Make sure just get enough portion of air, outside air, and the way you feel the view, just maybe just get out of your room a little bit, kind of. So I'm personally working on my balcony right now during the work days because it makes me feel kind of I feel free because when the work gets a little bit hard, sometimes I can see, like, okay, I can see the nature around me. Like, I can see the sky, I can hear the birds chirping, I can see the trees, I can see. So it's kind of okay knowing that. No, I'm not that, like maybe Kintan said, as cabin fever. No, it's just like, okay, the world is kind of larger than I think it is, because I can see it right away. So it's kind of, make sure you get those dose of familiarity with outside world, not just inside of a room where you just staring at your walls. It's kind of, yeah, it makes the cabin fever get worse, because you just like, okay, let's say just go stare at your windows, open the windows, feel the air's coming in. That helps. And right now more work is getting more enjoyable, because it eventually human adapt, right? Like in the end, we just, okay, it's been 8 months that we're still we're dealing with the situation, and then it's getting we're getting easier taking things to our daily lives, and it's not as stressful as it is like 2-3 months earlier, because it's still maybe we still need to adapt to so many things. But now we adapt ourselves, like yeah, it turns out we're okay. that we're having still having a great time during this pandemic situation.
So we're all disconnected but connected. And with your line of work though, Kintan, because a lot of your work, does it require a lot of mentorship?
Mentorship in what sense?
Guiding them to, because building a startup ecosystem, there's a lot of layers in it, right? Like, what would you feel like the one thing that you do the best, or one of your favorite thing to do before pandemic in your line of work?
Well, that's a great question. For me, my favorite thing to do is connecting with a lot of people out there, meeting new people. And I think with this pandemic, because my work has always been in digital, and I've been doing remote working since like 5 years. So like adapting to this new situation is not, luckily, is not as a struggle for me. But the thing that can easily get blurred is the line between work. That, for example, if before that, I can go to co-working space, for example, and then in the co-working space, I know that oh, everyone is like working around me. And then if it's like in the morning, and it feels like going to the office. And because I'm now at home, you know, you can easily not stop working. So all of a sudden, oh my God, it's already 8. And I know a lot of my people, my friends in Jakarta, they usually, like, I texted them at 11 p.m. and they're still working, and I'm like, oh my God, that's not healthy, because because you're at home. So I think my favorite thing to do before, it's like to, yeah, to meet people, and then the limit. So I think by now having at home and adapting is, for me, I really need to remind myself to, okay, let's set a time. So like start at 9, um, stop at say 6 or 5 or maximum 7. That's it. Because the screen time is easily can get you burnout. And I think like around the first 4 months, it was quite like a struggle, because I'm very extrovert, to be honest. And it's hard to not meet people, and it's always like in the screen, so your screen time is up, and then kind of like I feel a little bit burnout. And then my other tips for that is also, you need to know when you need to stop, because my like when you're in the office, it's you easily know, as I said, but when you're at home, you don't know, because you're waking up, and then you can go to work right away, and then it just feels like there is no boundaries. So yeah, I think you have your leaves days, and if you have like sick leave as well, you can use that for your personal. If you don't feel good, for example, I also count it as sick. So usually I take advantage of that. And besides that, I try my best always to wait to have like a window before starting the work. Like for example, Ayunda mentioned, you just like not from bed straight to dive into work, because your body need to restart. Like when you want to drive a car, you need to heat your engine first. So yeah, and it also makes you work more effectively, right? And yeah, I think that's all. And maybe one last thing, I always try to avoid work from bed, because that easily could like slowly fading into the dream world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, I feel like the things that you say, it sounds very simple, right? It sounds like, oh yeah, I know that. But in applicating that in real world, even for me right now, it's a challenge. And
Mhm.
I I want to know, what is the worst burnout you've experienced so far? Because we've been in the middle of this global pandemic for how long now? It feels like we all have a pandemic baby. 9 months of pandemic, more like it,
I don't even know anymore. I
right? We
stopped
don't even
counting.
look at calendar anymore. Can you share with us, maybe Ayunda first, what's been your worst burnout? Like how did you feel when you first experienced that?
Okay. It was actually a few like around June or July, I guess, and then it was so hard because actually it was easier for me to get out of the work to that kind of filling my head too much, and then when we were in the office, I can like I can tell my team like I need to get out a little bit, and then I can get out like for a few hours to just refresh my mind, to just like yeah, like Kintan said, you just know when when your body said that this is kind of enough, okay, enough, then just stop and just do something else. Then, and whenever you ready, feel good to get back to work, then you can get back. That's what I usually do when we're working on the office. But we cannot do it right now, right? I mean, we're working in the same I don't know, in the same roof, under the same roof, when we're doing other things like sleeping, cooking, eating, and everything. So it's not that easy, and it gets on me, and then it starts to affect my motivation to work, and then it gets harder to get out of bed, not for the sake of because my bed feels good, no, but it's about like I don't have the energy to just go to work, to just do my work. It's a different kind of level with laziness, and you just hate your work. No, I love my work. We do, but it's just the energy to do it is just kind of lost. Kind of even after you just get out of bed. That's the worst thing that burnout did to you, because no matter how hard you love your job, when your energy drains, and then it drains, and it's just gone, and you just cannot go in. And then that's when one thing that I learned during this pandemic situation is just don't mess up with your day off. Like take it whenever you need it, and listen to your body more whenever it starts to scream like, hey, I need a break, and then go take a break. Like even 2 days is enough. Like maybe you can take it like on Thursday and Friday, so it goes with the weekends. It feels longer, right? And then yeah, that's kind of a tip for me. And understandably, the situation is hard enough for us to cope, so don't get too hard on yourself to just keep on trying to keep productive. No, the situation is already hard enough, so just go easy on yourself, listen more to it whenever it needs a break, whenever it needs a kind of, okay, this is the limit, I need to stop, then go stop, then pause. That pause button is always there whenever you need it. You just have to acknowledge it and then hit it whenever you want. So yeah, that's on June and July was the first kind of burnout. I've never felt burnout before, like during my previous years at work, because I always have to refresh in the middle of the workstation. But now, since we just cannot go anywhere that easy because of the fear of the unknown and the unseen, yeah, and then yeah, and that's how, even though when I took day off, I just stay at home, like, but the burden of, okay, because when you actually at work and then you have no energy to do it, it's kind of grows on you that like that's the guilty feeling of not doing your work because you're supposed to do it, but you do not have the energy to. It's different when you're just saying, okay, you're telling your office that, okay, I'm taking a day off for 2 days, and then there goes your responsibility, right? I mean, no one told you to work, and then you acknowledge yourself that it's a break time, it's stopped, and then you just rest, you just recharge yourself however you want it. Do your hobbies, do something fun, make your body relax, do things that you always want to do but you cannot do during your work days, things like that. Free yourself. And yeah, and my office is kind of mental health friendly, so we're working on that program intensively, moreover during this pandemic situation, because it's not just about me, but so many other employees, and I bet not just in my companies, but many more employees, worker out there that feel the same thing of getting burned out, getting motivational, low motivation in at work and everything. And it's understandable. It's totally understandable. So anyone watching this, when you're feeling like that, it's totally okay. Don't push yourself too much. It's hard enough right now. And yeah, keep it cool. Try to listen to your body more and adjust. We just need to adjust to the situation.
I think what I want to add from that as well is because it's from our perspective, right? And from my experience, what I really appreciate as well from the team that I work, we check in with each other. So we just being sensitive to word someone to the team members. Say for us, maybe this could be applied to the startup founders, or for you who has business. Every Monday we have check-in, and then we it's like a briefing to see overall work that we're going to do in a week. But we always start the meeting for that with gratitude. Just take a step back and pause. And then also we do traffic light, and there it's a place to really being open. So for example, oh, this week traffic light for me is orange because I feel nervous about work and there is something impersonal, blah, blah. So it's kind of like giving a heads up to your team. Hey, this week I'm not feeling that, how I said, that 100%, maybe I will need some, I will need your help. Or I think at the same time, first, of course, you need to take care of yourself, but also taking care of the team, because you want to do good work, and teamwork is the best. So you need to also be sensitive, and then be, how is that, like approach them like, hey, I'm aware that you're having not 100% kind of week. How can I help? I'm here to help. Just hold the space. I think it would it's really helpful. And yeah, I think it would be wonderful if all teams in this world doing that too. Yeah, I think like this practice of that, it will be helpful.
So in a way, just communicating our needs and concerns. It sounds very simple, but it's actually really hard, especially now when we don't get there face to face. We don't feel each other's vibe, and I feel like communication is the key and the main struggles currently. I want to know what's your thought when it comes to maintaining great communication in order to have a better workflow when it comes to running your brands or business. Is there any quick tips that you guys have been doing to make sure sometimes our messages, work messages, maybe are not drowned, because this phones and laptop and iPads and all that, it's all around us. Maybe with you, Ayunda, because both of you have started working digitally, probably longer than a lot of us here. So adjustments are not that hard. But what has been the best communication methods that you guys have applied to your team specifically?
Yeah. So in my office, we do asynchronous. So it keeps because things keeps updated, right? And business still business even during pandemic. So there are always things that we have, especially when what I do is doing IT technology. It always, you stumble upon bugs, you stumble upon something worked so well, and then it can goes every time. And my team handle the customers, so they're coming with their complaints that their website's not working and everything, and then it's kind of that those kind of information needs to get flowed quickly to the customer from us, from the service provider. So we make sure that we are reachable for our customer, but internally we do over communicate, because it's maybe when we go to the office we can just poke the person and then ask them things, but now we cannot, right? So sometimes chats doesn't go that well to explain things. So yeah, so many calls, so many Zoom meetings, so many, because and thing that maybe can drive to drain quickly was the fact that when you just need to change the link to move to another meeting, sometimes you just lost your time there. Like sometimes you just don't know how many meeting rooms that you have visited actually in a day, because it's a matter of different links from one meeting to another. So over communicate, because people need to make sure that they are someone actually watching, understand and pay attention to what they're doing. That's how people feel appreciated, because when you just don't know whether your supervisor actually acknowledge what you've done and the big things that maybe you've done or not. And I agree with Kintan's method. I'm doing it with my team as well every Monday to check up on them, make sure they open all their cameras so I can see, so we can meet virtually, like literally meeting, because actually through camera we can see how they're doing, whether they're physically good or not, and checking up on whether they're happy or not with the previous week, and what they're looking up for the next week, and then how they're feeling, whether should I handle things that maybe they're getting overwhelmed with and everything. So yeah, over communicate is always over doesn't mean that you're just getting possessive with your team member, no, but making sure they just feel appreciated through their work, because some people would just like needs this kind of motivation to make them feel better, and to make them feel like, yeah, what I do matter, like that. So make sure they know they know how matter they are to the team and to the company in a big scale.
I want to ask this to Kintan. Yeah, we have a few minutes to wrap. This is like I'm dying to ask this because there's so many new startups popping out here and there. I want to ask you, Kintan, tell me honestly, is there any kind of startup that every time you see, you're like, not this again, not this kind of startup again? Is it unpopular opinion? Tell me one startup and you feel like, oh my God, guys, other ones, do we actually need another one of these? Do you have one of those?
Social media.
Ah,
Social media startup. Yeah, I think with it's just a very competitive sector, right? First of all, and it's a very high, how you say it, like it's a long journey. For example, like it's right now, it's you really need to do like million extra work to say compete with Instagram, Facebook, I think, yeah, social media startup, not again. Because I think at the same time, people will have social media fatigue, right? And yeah, I think that's my short answer.
to just quickly wrap this up, do you guys have any message to aspiring business owners out there, especially if they're nervous getting their first step into, digital business? One quick word of motivation for them. If we can start with Ayunda.
Okay, just the risk will always there, pandemic or not, because in the end, eventually you just have to go digital for a long-term vision of the business, because everything goes tech right now, and people wants to find you through digitally. So just start however you feel comfortable. Not you just cannot just jump into you having website, no, but you can start small, like go with social media, go with your WhatsApp contacts, go with your any kind of posting on social media. Got kind of not just Instagram, Facebook is still alive, got Twitter, and people make threads on Twitter to reach out to more people, and it works for some business starters. And then including the knowledge is actually free. You can reach it free if you know where to look, if you know how to reach out to the source, because even social media, even I use my social media to learn. So yeah, actually everything is possible, and especially during these times when you just actually have to source digitally and free. Actually, you don't just go with it. Don't let any fear stop your way to just make your business grow through this hard time.
Kintan?
As for me, don't be afraid to fail, because don't be afraid to fail, and then after that, the first step will not ever be perfect, but you always can improve. I think first, the don't be afraid to fail is a lot of people is really have this huge fear of failing that it really holds them to even start. And at the same time, yes, if you make mistakes, it is not a mistake actually. You learn from it. So I think it's for the business, for whoever it is who wants to start business. Uh, this is very cliche. Enjoy the process, but really, it's not about the destination. I would say, because then you're focusing on the wrong thing, and then you might have different strategy. And the second one, when I said everything's not going to be perfect, that's just going to be the reality. And perfection is, I learned the hard way myself. So like when you want to start everything very perfectly, you ended up not doing it. So I think just start doing it as Ayunda said, and keep in mind that it is okay to make mistake. It is actually fun to make mistake. Then you grow more. And the first time is not gonna be perfect, but you can always. But no one's gonna die. That's always my mantra. So yeah.
All right, so there you have it, guys. Amazing ladies from the startup scene. I have a lot more questions to ask you guys, but we have such limited time. So I urge all of you guys who's watching this video, reach out to these two amazing, amazing ladies and ask them as many questions as you can, because pandemic's not going anywhere. And like Ayunda said, with or without pandemic, we need to somehow progress, and entering the digital scene is just the right move for basically everyone, small or big businesses. Thank you for all of you who's watching. Don't forget to like, retweet, repost, and just stalk all these authors and speakers, stalk Ayunda and Kintan online. If you ask me where you can find them online, I'll drop you guys their email if you ask me. And thank you so much for you guys for this. It's a definitely a tough world to get into, but even I'm motivated today to actually jump, possibly making my first website very soon. And I hope both of you ladies are doing great, safe and sound, happy and always healthy. To all of you watching, thank you so much for tuning in to Kembali 20. This festival is made possible with the support of the Yayasan Mudra Suari Saraswati Patron Program and their donors. So if you enjoy our sessions like these and other sessions, please make a little contribution so we know we can get through this together and hopefully see each other face to face. We might get to meet Kintan in Ubud next year. And always follow Ubud Writers Fest on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or visit ubudwritersfestival.com for more information about the patron program. I hope to see you guys soon face to face. And thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.